for today's video, I am going to be doing a bow build. It's going to be my first full top to bottom bow build. Everything. I'm a little bit nervous for it, if I'm being honest, but I'm super excited for it too. So the bow that I'm going to be building is going to be the 2026 Hoyt AX-3, Alpha AX-3 in a 33-inch axle to axle. So as far as what is going to be going on this bow, I am going to be running the Ultra View, the UV Slider 2, I believe is what it's called. I already got the high vis ring on it. Orange is my color. I'm a redhead, so orange works well. Super excited about this with the pick mount. And it's also in the 3-pin vertical. So I had on my Matthews, last year's Matthews Lift X33, I had the UV slider with the 3-pin horizontal, and my bow I had the year before that, I had the Spot Halleck triple stack. Really like the 3-pin vertical, so super excited with that. I am not going with the Hoyt stabilizers as far as a stabilizer system. Just not a fan of paying the price that bow companies are charging us for their stabilizers. I ran the Matthews, the bridge lock stabilizers. They're great, don't get me wrong, but by the time you get a front, back bar, mounts, and then the weight, especially with how light these bow, you're putting some weight on the bow. Just not really into paying that price when I can get probably just as good or better performance from different stabilizers. Also, I can hardly probably shoot the difference in stabilizers. So I already mounted the back bar to the to this, but I'm going to be running the Cutter stabilizers, 10-inch in the front and also 10-inch in the back. The reason being the 10-inch in the back, also with the Go-Stix, why am I running the same size stabilizers, is because on this new Hoyt AX-3, and they have the stubby on here, so I'll probably leave it there, but instead of normally the stabilizer sticking out, your 10 inches from traditional stabilizer position, on the Hoyts, I get an extra, what is that, 3 inches, give or take, because I'm mounting down here. So I am going to be I'm not going to mount here at the traditional spot. I'm actually probably just going to leave the stubby on. Maybe I'll see if there's any difference taking it on and off, but I'm going to be mounting these Cutter stabilizers, the front bar on the bottom part. So I'm going to be running the Prophecy rest from AAE this year. Big reason why is, the MX2 I ran on the Matthews last year. I loved it, the QAD. Also absolutely love the Hamskeas. I just think they're easy, but I've always just really been interested in the Prophecy. And so this year I was just like, screw it. I'm gonna run the Prophecy. I'm gonna see if I like it. It's definitely interesting once I got my hands on it. Just the action, I guess you could call it. But yeah, super excited to run the Prophecy from AAE. All right, let's get this thing leveled off here. All right, let me lower this so I can. Alright, using these burger hole and stabilizer levels from Leveled. Should work out pretty good here. Get this thing all leveled, get the sight. Like I said, this is my first bow build top to bottom too, so don't be afraid to comment on something that I did wrong. As far as like what I'm doing here, like I'm gonna level out the bow, everything, make sure the rest is on good, and then throw some levels on the rest, on everything. Just make sure everything level. That's kind of what I imagine the ultimate goal is. I get it close. So fairly close. And then I believe you use these to micro. Boom. Level. Alright, let's start with the rest. Actually, let's start with the sight since we got the... I'm going to be using the burger hole with this rest. So I'm going to throw on the sight here. Alright, let's get the rest put on. So I'm going to take this level goes in the burger hole out pretty carefully just so I don't mess up the level when I put the rest on and level the rest itself. And I'll tell you this about the old school mounting bracket is once you have an integrated rest or integrated anything, it is hard to decide to go back to mount something on the side of your bow. So they, shout out to the bow companies. They've really made it a tough decision to do this. Now, I do know in this prophecy, it has to say, if I want to, this is something I really like about the prophecy and how it fits on this bow versus, but it's also something that I don't like the fit as well. So number one is the only way that you can get the set screw set close enough to the riser to get it set is to have the rest as far back as possible. So I just want to bring it just off of here and get it somewhat tight. Okay. And then I'm going to get it so it's just off. Now this set screw, and it barely grabs onto the riser there, so not a humongous fan of that. We'll look through here and see what direction it needs to go. About right there. Level. See if I got a little bit more room to bring it back. Alright, let me grab another level here. So make sure my front and back is level. It is. And this is not. Alright, so I just want to make sure it's right there is about level. So I'll cinch those down. Alright, she's level. Alright, let's put it in the bow press. Alright, so let's get the string loose here. We're going to tie in a D-loop. So, let's get the square in here. There is no burger hole in this bow, so I'm literally just doing it based off of the bottom of the rest. But I think I need to give it a little space. Mark it off here. Silver Sharpie. That's going to be my bottom knock. Alright, now I'm going to grab an arrow. Shouldn't go. This is the knocks I've been using, so. Tie my bottom knock here. Cinch it in there nice and tight. So I do a double, I think it's called like a double overhand, and then single on bottom towards where your arrow is going to be. So 1, 2, cinch that thing in tight. So I just want a little bit fatter in the back, a little bit thicker. So I'll do one more each. There we go. All right, burn these on. And then I use the I think it's BCY, like it's a number 23, not 24. The 24 is a little bit thicker. This is D-loop material, so number 23. Um, that's why I like to tie my D-loop with. I've just heard, just helps with torque, and I've had really good luck with it, and I really like it. So. All right, so before I tie in the D-loop, I'm going to just double check square on, I just want to make sure that my arrow is level. Honestly, it's close enough. I'm going to leave it there, see how it shoots through paper, and then if I need to retie another loop, I can do so. But yeah, I like it. Pretty darn close. So there's my bottom. I'm not going to get it too tight enough. And then on this side, I want it to be the complete opposite way. So I started on my side the first time. This one, I want to go this way. I want to get this fairly tight as well. And I'm going to leave a little bit extra gap than I probably want my arrow, just knowing that when I cinch this thing down, it's going to move just a tiny bit. Okay. Leave myself an inch or so. With this 23, it's a little bit tougher to burn. So you want to leave yourself a little bit more to burn. All right. Looks decent to me here. And honestly, I kind of like maybe even a little bit bigger gap than some people. I like there to be plenty of room for my knock. All right, this thing is gonna burn like crazy. But with this material, you need a little extra. Leave just a little. Smush her down. Don't want these knots to be soft still when you cinch it down. Cinch it down. It's not super tight yet. I'm gonna let it probably sit for another couple minutes, but I do want to make sure got some room here, so I got a little bit of wiggle room. My knock. My gas bowstrings will be in for this bow probably next week, so I'm gonna set this up, get new, gas bowstrings, and then I'll be redoing this whole process, or retying in my peep and D-loop. All right, she should be fully hardened. I'm gonna really get it cinched down this time. Like that a lot. Sweet. All right, peep sight. So I'm gonna grab my old bow and measure from center of my D loop where I knock to right where the peep goes into the string, because I want to set my peep level on this bow the exact same as I set it on my Matthews. I might have to change it later, but it's just a good starting point. Alright, cannot find my ruler sewing tape, so I'm using this bad boy. So exactly 6 inches. So on here, on the bow, I'm going to grab my marker. Make sure it's right on the mark I set. Put a little pressure on it. Alright, so let's get the rest through the cable here. Alright. Alright, now let's put it in the draw board. See if we can get that timed. Check some timing while we're here, huh? Sweet. So now we're ready to tie in the peep. So now what I'm going to do is tie in the peep. This is set. I'm going to actually make a little knot here. There's a lot of different ways to do this. I just YouTubed a video and it's worked for me the way that I learned. I know there's a lot of different ways to tie in a loop, but I think I'm going to have to put in a different rest. So what's going to have to happen here. Alright, got the peep tied in. Let's melt this thing down. Alright, there we go. Peep tied in. I like tying my peep this way. I think it looks really good with the orange. Alright, so we need to get back to this issue, which sucks because I was pretty excited about this prophecy rest, but I was really worried about set screw not being able to set just because of the angle. I did not think of this before setting it up. So, see if you can see here. So you can see here's the set screw. There's where it goes in the burger hole. I don't have enough room to set this the way I would like. And when I put it in the jaw board to pull this through to set my rest, it actually pulled it up. So the only reason I didn't want it all the way back in touching is because if I do have to make any adjustments, it's going to be riding on this. And I also don't know the flex of the bow and how that will affect it. So let me get this leveled. Yeah, see, I think I'm going to end up going to get a new rest for this bad boy. Yep, and I just ruined that. So, all right, we're taking off the rest. No prophecy rest on my bow this year. Very disappointing. I think I need the prophecy QD with the right attachment to make the prophecy work. And honestly, I'm not going to order one. I'm already disappointed. Don't need to disappoint myself anymore. I am going to be running to town. Probably going to pick up the MX2 or the Hamskea R7. I might do the Hamskea R7 actually. And get the sucker installed so I can tune it tonight. Alright, I'll be back. Alright, I'm back from town. Grabbed the R7 from Hamskea, the new rest that came out this year. I actually really did want to use this rest. Kind of disappointed in not being able to use the prophecy, but shout out Bill Pellegrino's Archery Hut, Colorado Springs. Long drive to get there, but got what I needed. So great archery shop. I'm gonna just make sure real quick this sight is leveled, and then we're gonna get the rest put on so I can get this thing paper tuned and ready to go. So I'm gonna leave those in because this should my rest should mount. R7 should mount for me here. All right, let's throw an arrow in. All right. Let's get this knot finished up on here. Make sure that's super tight. Don't want it slipping off. Your rest malfunctioning. Burn her down a little bit. All right, let's get the timing down on it. and get all the stretch out of the string. We're going to rinse and repeat this process a couple times. Alright, last steps we need to do is put on some stabilizers. Good girl. Alright, let's throw on these stabilizers so we can shoot this thing through paper. Start by getting the Go-Stix on here in the front. Quick disconnect on the cutter stabilizers. Like I said, two 10-inch bars. Already hooked up the back bar attachment. There we go. And then I don't want to leave this open, so I'm just going to throw this little stubby Hoyt stabilizer here at the top hole. I might play around with it and see if it does anything. But alright, there we have it. This is my bow build for 2026. Hoyt AX-3 33. Running the Ultra View Slider 2. Put through the orange high vis on there. The Hamskea R7 rest, limb driven rest. I was actually pretty disappointed that I wasn't able to use the Prophecy from AAE. I've been super excited to throw that thing on a bow. The set screw, I think I need the other version of the Prophecy with the adapter to make it work, but give me an excuse to run the new R7. You know, a lot of people are saying it's the best rest ever made hunting wise. So nothing wrong with that. I'm not disappointed one bit. As far as stabilizers, cutter, my back bar is a 10-inch cutter stabilizer, front bar is a 10-inch cutter stabilizer. Reason I'm running the two 10 inches is because this lower mount on the Hoyt, it gives me a few extra inches than where a normal stabilizer would be set back to here. So I just threw the Hoyt, you know, a little stubby on there. Might take it off, not sure. Later. These are not, I'm going to be getting new gas bowstrings coming in, I think next week, so I wanted to set this bow up either way. I'm super excited to shoot it, but I'll be getting some new gas bowstrings. These are just stock strings as of right now. So thanks for watching the video. I am going to do some paper tuning to wrap this thing up, and then yeah, the next video should be a side-in. I might do a little bit of a side-by-side and just compare my last year's Lift X33. I love that bow. Compare it to my bow this year. See what, you know, what's grouping well. Yeah, just super excited to try this thing out. Have some fun with it. So thanks for watching. If you like the video, please like, subscribe. If you would like more of this content, I'm going to be posting content. I'm new at this thing. So hopefully I get better as time goes on. Just trying to hit the setup and have fun with it. You know, it's been almost more stressful than fun. So thanks for watching. See you on the next video.
Tell me, baby,